Hey legends, how's everyone going? I hope everyone's enjoying getting back into gyms as they open. Hopefully your gym is open and hasn't shut again if you're down in Melbourne. I know it's a little bit iffy down there with COVID. But as a few of my clients are getting back into gyms, I've been getting a couple of questions about callus management, because for a couple of months people probably haven't been doing any barbell work, haven't been doing a lot of hanging, and their hands have softened up. And now that they're getting back into the gym, they're starting to hit workouts, starting to rip calluses, and the calluses are building up. Now, first things first, your calluses happen as a bit of your body's defense system. So under your feet and in your hands, you have thick skin that you don't really have anywhere else in the body. And that's because these are the parts of your body that are exposed to the elements. We didn't evolve running around in running shoes. We got around with not much on our feet, and your hands are picking things up every day. So your hands and your feet need to be a little bit more durable than the rest of you. And this is why you have this thick skin. Now, calluses are where your body will build up a little bit of a bit of thick skin as a defense to constant friction or pressure. And this is where you'll get calluses in your hands or under your feet if you're running in possibly incorrect shoes or over new terrain that you're not used to. So calluses aren't really a problem, except that they get in your way. So on their own, they're not really causing any issue. Your calluses will build up as you, say, start doing barbell work. And that's why you'll find like tradies, guys who work with their hands, will just have naturally rougher hands than, say, office workers. It's not really a problem until it's a problem. But if you're going to do something like your first Murph, which is a CrossFit workout where you need to do 100 pull-ups, chances are pretty high you're going to rip your callus doing that workout. And CrossFitters will know that they rip their calluses pretty regularly. So a couple of guys are watching live. Matty, how you going? Derry, Mike. Give me a hashtag live if you are watching live, guys. Hashtag replay if you are watching a replay later. So what I wanted to do is just cover how I manage my calluses, the safest and easiest way I've found to do it. And hopefully that means you guys can manage your calluses as well. You might have seen CrossFitters use razor blades to do it. It works, but a little bit dicey in that if you mess it up, you can cut yourself. So there's a couple of products on the market that are sort of like pet eggs that work really well. I found these two products from a company called Scholl. I went out and bought this the other day from Chemist Warehouse. So Chemist Warehouse, they're all over Australia. You can pick these up for about $12. Very cheap. Now, this is a hard skin remover. And this is good for really, really solid calluses. This is more like a file, so this is like the next grade down, and this will do a really good job as well. So same company, probably about $9 for that one, $12 for that one. So these are really, really cheap. And if you have a look at what this actually is, it's like a cheese grater. And that's pretty much what we're going to do to our calluses. We're going to grate them off like cheese, which sounds really disgusting. And it is a little bit disgusting, but it's actually really safe. The interesting thing about these is they won't cut your soft skin. They'll only cut the hard skin. So if I run it up here where my callus is, it'll dig right in, but down here it'll just run over. It won't cut me. And that's really interesting. So what I'm gonna do is just move you in a little bit closer so we can get into the sink. Because I always find what you want to do is you want to, I did fill that sink with water, but it emptied. What you want to do is wet your hands. That'll just soften that skin up a little bit. So I've got a pretty beefy little callus on there. So what I'm going to do is just run that under a bit of hot water. Just soften that up a little bit. That's really hot water. Sounds great. How are you, Adrian? All right, so we've just softened that up. Usually I'd probably like to soak my hands a little bit longer just to soften them up, but just for the sake of the video, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So we've just wet that a little bit. What we're going to do is literally just run this cheese grater, and can you see it's just taken a big beefy little bit of skin off, and it's in the middle of there. We can literally just run this over like a cheese grater. And I don't know if you guys can see super well, but it's just shaved that skin right off. You can see it all in there. As I said, disgusting, but what's more disgusting? Grating your hands like cheese or ripping your skin off while doing pull-ups and not being able to train for a week or two. So this big cheese grater has gotten rid of the big beefy bits, but I just want to neaten that up a little bit because we don't want to leave any burrs on the skin there, because that's just something that the bar or anything that we're interacting with, a kettlebell, anything with a little bit of grit is just going to rip that burr straight off. So I want to soften that a little bit now. Now we'll go down to our next grade. This is like using really rough sandpaper and then going down to finer sandpaper, if you remember woodwork from school. And we're going to go to our next grater down, and we're just going to smooth that up. And just like filing your nails, that's really nice and smooth now. I'd probably spend a little bit more time on that and just make that a little bit nicer. And this battle with your hands is never really going to stop. You're always going to be managing your calluses, because as you as you train and as you put that stimulus on your hands, your body's going to try and defend, and it's going to build up that hard skin. Now, as I said, the hard skin itself is not a problem. Where it becomes a problem is if you let it build up and then you try and hit a big training session, or you're doing some heavy barbell work and you get that pinch of that hard skin. That's when you're going to rip it, and that's when you're going to cause pain. So these two products, Scholl, you can get them from the Chemist Warehouse. Super cheap, super easy, really, really safe. You might have thought that was a little bit painful. Might have been painful to watch. Certainly wasn't painful to grate that skin off. So let me know how you go with that, guys. If you have any other questions about how to manage your calluses or how to manage any part of your training or your body, send me a message.